Okay guys, a big day today for several reasons. It's the time to decide who wins the entire competition of Next Top Singer 2022. And it's also Andrea's birthday today, so as a little birthday surprise, Mark is going to sing happy birthday to Andrea.
Yay!
I'm absolutely not.
Oh,
Why not?
Why not?
No. I'm jet lagged, I'm tired, I've had a headache for the last 24 hours, let's not.
Oh,
excuses.
Fine.
Okay, Andrea, you have to...
We tried.
Fine, I'll record it afterwards because I'll have to auto-tune it.
Sure. You can have
we
your
tried.
celebrations after this, Andrea. This day is not about you, it's about our
I
4
know.
amazing girls here. I don't think we have ever had a final with no, we have definitely not had a final with 4 girls, so definitely special.
No.
And especially 4 that are so close to each other. I mean, are you kidding me? They are... this is going to be tough, definitely.
The hardest. The absolute hardest.
And just the fact that they are 4 just shows how close they are, because usually we have a pretty clear top 3, I think. But this time we really had to have 4. But before we get into the voting part, which is gonna include the discussion about the body of work as well, because remember guys, that is 50% of the decision, at least to me. First we are going to discuss the final songs themselves. Since it's your birthday, Andrea, you can decide who we start on.
I decide that Mark gets to pick.
Okay, fair enough.
All right.
Well, let's start with Angelina then.
Okay.
I think we're seeing improvement every single time Angelina comes out.
Yes.
Pitch is generally nailed on. A few flat spots in there, but I think we're in the early stages. We were maybe concerned about Angelina being able to hit the pitch, but having the energy and the other things to come into it. She's certainly polishing a lot of things up. The high harmonies in this are great, but they sound a little out of place at times, which is the same thing she had last time around. They're so far off from the main line that they kind of hang in their own space, so another harmony a step below might help out, or putting in a low end just to open up the whole envelope might be useful. I think they are useful in that she shows us what she can do with them, but in terms of the context of the whole piece and how the cover as a whole comes together, that may help things out. There's a lot of things that she's still figuring out, but it was, again, very strong stuff. I think a contender for one of the best things she's put out for us.
Oh yeah, definitely. And if there were problems with the harmonies, then you definitely fooled me, Angelina, because I didn't have any notes on the harmonies. I think this was a very ambitious song with a lot of harmonies and different parts that work together beautifully in this cover. You have dynamics from soft to strong and a beautiful delicate head voice. You sound so confident, like you belong in this genre. And you have edgy belting just like you had last round, and I love that. And you do have the versatility as well. You have shown pop, musical and country song, and this sounded a little R&B even though it's a musical song still. You are missing those that sustain on the high belts, and with age you are going to get more maturity obviously, so that you can really reach those deep notes as well. But you are already such a clear artist, and you should be so proud of yourself for everything you have done in this competition.
Yeah, of Angelina's body of work, I really do feel like this was one of my favorites. I think that I always found it kind of interesting that she chose a musical theater. I really don't often hear musical theater as a final choice for the finale, which I thought was kind of cool, actually. I thought it was brave. I thought it was really cool. I enjoyed the dynamics. Most of the harmonies were well done. I did hear some muddled points. If you listen to the harmonizing around 229-ish, it got kind of muddled. There were some that kind of went a little off, and then it just kind of blurred together a little bit in a way that wasn't quite right. And there were some that just kind of went a little bit off in certain places, but otherwise it wasn't too problematic. And I just thought it was a strong entry for Angelina. I really feel that throughout this competition she grew in front of us, and she just has such a lovely voice. I mean, I just loved watching her grow, and I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, can you just hold on, because I need to listen to that 229 timestamp that you talked about.
Yeah, it's around 229.
I mean, we are in the finale, and it is so close.
Yeah, it's right around the 220. Yeah, it's right around the 229 part.
Okay.
Yeah, right around there.
The main problem with that part of it is it's more of a production issue than anything else, I think.
I think, yeah.
It ties into my point a little bit that I was making on the harmonies, is that everything kind of needs its own space, and at times I thought the high harmonies were too far out in their own space from what was going on in the whole piece, and then in that part there's too much going on at once, and then if everything isn't sitting in its own place, either in terms of volume and pitch and left-right panning and that sort of thing, then they do just kind of end up muddying up with each other.
Exactly.
And it's tough to pick out the individual parts. So yeah, it's a tough one. It's something that you'd have to mess about with volume envelopes probably to get that to work out, which when you start doing that with production and mixing, it takes a whole stack load of time. But yeah, I don't think it's a huge knock on singing performance. It's more just how it sounds in ears.
Yeah, I think that's more, like I said, it just got muddied. It was just muddied.
Yeah, I'm trying to judge more on the singing itself, because, I mean, mixing...
But unfortunately, when you go that route and you choose to do it that way, it does disrupt the actual singing as well, because you have to take some production into consideration, and when you muddy the vocals through production, it does take a toll on the actual singing as well. So when you're producing the harmonies, you've got to make sure that that's on point as much as the vocals as well. So you got to watch the mixing. It didn't hurt as much. That was just something that kind of stuck out at me a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, fair points. And to be honest, I'm not the best at picking out individual parts in harmonies or judging harmonies in particular, unless they are really off, of course, like in pitch and everything. I'm going to leave that to you guys. I'm going to trust that you know what you're doing in regards to the harmonies. Oh, maybe I shouldn't.
Never do that.
Okay, but we'll see what happens in the voting. It may or may not matter.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things to consider in this. It's not,
exactly.
Yeah, it's not just that one part. It's the entire final song and the entire body of work. So
exactly.
Yeah. And that's just one moment out of everything in that case. Yeah. So let's move on, I think. Why not take Maeve? Okay, so Maeve, you have a lot of energy in this. It's a very fun song. You have those characteristic whistle notes and that heavy vibrato that I love. You are a very versatile singer, because now you showed that you can do jazz as well, and that is a very difficult genre. Your vocals are pretty similar to what you've done before though, but the voice itself suits many different genres, and you're scatting so well in this, and that is difficult, as I learned from Andrea last season, I'm gonna admit. So yeah, I definitely took that into consideration. You are only missing that fortissimo dynamic and the softer dynamics, like the piano dynamic. This was more from mezzo forte to forte to me, so you don't really need that to be a successful singer, but it would make you a more well-rounded singer to me. That said, I really felt the passion in this. You are such a believable artist, and I love the ending. It was ethereal and quirky at the same time, like you always are, and you should be so proud of everything you've done. And I think I just repeated myself, but it's true. I think all of you should be so proud for even getting this far. And like I said, it was really close to me as far as body of work goes.
The song choice was a little surprising for me. Wasn't expecting that, especially with some of the options that were being talked about. I am not sure it was necessarily the right one, only in that I had issues with the enunciation of a lot of the phrases. They seem to get kind of muddled and lost in the mix a little bit. But in terms of an overall performance, it was a great way to show off a lot of versatility and a lot of different things. Yeah, I think that's the main thing that stands out to me, is that a lot of the phrases weren't particularly enunciated. I think they kind of fit in line with the original, but that was just something that kind of jarred me listening to the whole thing, and then maybe distracted me a little bit from all of the good points that came into this. But yeah, I think a good way to sign things off as well. A good display of everything, good display of range, good display of being able to mix up the timings over the course of a cover as well. Strong stuff without blowing me away, if that makes sense.
Yeah, didn't you want an opera song from her? I think you said that.
Yeah, I would have loved to have had opera in it, but then I've been more of a supporter of that than perhaps you guys have, and it's one of those things that you've got to absolutely nail.
Yeah.
If you were doing it in a performance or in a competition that was not an opera competition, it might make more sense. You might have judges that are very familiar with that genre. While I don't think the three of us particularly are, it would have been a big risk. That was just a personal, I would have loved to have seen that rather than, yes, you should definitely do that.
Yeah, I don't know how that would go, but I would definitely be interested in hearing that because I've never heard that, and that would show more of her versatility. But I think she is a versatile singer already, so I don't know if it was necessary. Yeah. What does Andrea think?
I think that this was I think she had a great voice. I was very kind of like off-put by the song choice because it just seemed so, I don't know, it just didn't seem like the typical Maeve song. Like, you know, when you think of Maeve DeVoe, you're thinking of a different kind of a song. It just wasn't very Maeve-y, but it really showed her versatility, definitely. I think it was on point. I think she did a great job with the song. I think she made it fun. I do agree there was some, like with the enunciation, there were some times where I was just kind of like, you know, where I had to go back and kind of listen a little bit. But I mean, that didn't really bother me, I think, as much as it bothered Mark. I don't know. It just didn't seem like it was a Maeve song at first. But this would have been a nice song for somewhere in the middle of the competition. It just didn't seem like a big finale number to me. It just seemed like this was more of a milder Maeve rather than a big finale Maeve. It was beautiful and fun, but it didn't finale wow me. But at the same time, a really nice version of Maeve that I do like. I believe in her voice, and with all of the drama that we had this season with the whole thing about the production, no production, auto-tune, no auto-tune, it's just Maeve has got the talent, and she just has to understand that the only reason we fought about that this whole entire season, it has nothing to do with about her talent. It has to do with the fact that we believe in her talent and that we want her to rely on her talent and not on auto-tune, because she's got the talent and she doesn't need it as much as she thinks she does. And that was the whole drama about that, and this proves that right here.
Yeah, I have three responses to that. First, I think this was a Maeve song actually in the way that she has done these fun song choices before, like in round 2. And I think this was that same energy.
Well, I mean, it's a Maeve song, but I think that this wasn't a Maeve finale, not a Maeve finale song. I think that I would have expected it to be bigger.
That point I actually agree with. Yeah. I don't think this was her best entry, but I still loved it. And yeah, you're absolutely right. The reason that we have fought over her so much is because we have strong opinions about her. And like I have said before in previous seasons, being controversial is obviously a great hallmark of an artist. If people don't have strong opinions about you, then they're not going to care. And this shows we care. So, and there have definitely, no, I'm not gonna say that until I'm gonna say my full opinion about her until the actual voting part. I almost spoke too much there. I'm gonna hold my mouth.
All right. Okay, should we move on then?
Yes.
Okie dokie.
Finally, Andrea's turn.
Yay! Okay. Why don't we go to Mocha then? Mocha, I thought it was very emotional from the get-go for me. I love the song and I love her voice. I think there is a very nice natural vibrato to her voice. There's just, like I said, there's so much energy. There's such a sweetness in that voice there. But what I think I would have liked to have seen was a slight transition from a soft moment growing into a big moment. It just seemed like it was so hard from the word go. Like it was just so strong. Like it just went from strong to stronger to strongest. And there just didn't seem to be such a soft, quiet moment. It would have been nice to feel that. But this just felt like a song that I would have listened to again and again. This was a very good quality song for Mocha.
This was a bit of an oh no moment when I saw the song choice.
What?
So,
I like the song.
Yeah, all right, let me try and clarify this without going on for 20 minutes. So,
oh God.
For the original of this, the instrumental gives me more feeling than the vocal does. Mainly because when you're going for a soft ballady kind of thing, the last place that you're going to go to is Avril Lavigne. That's not really the kind of area. And the problem that I have with it is if you want to go for something soft and ballady, then generally you can think of countless female vocalists that do this, and they're very, very vocal forward. When it's Avril Lavigne, there's no way she's going to be vocal forward in a piano ballad, which is kind of part of the problem. In terms of the actual performance, a few phrases fell flat at the end pitch-wise, which was a little bit disappointing in a final. This is crying out for dynamic that has been my issue with Mocha going forward, and I think we've gone through 3 different producers mixing it now at least, which says to me maybe it's just a microphone issue, because She's clearly trying to soften it up and push it, but in terms of the actual volume that's coming out, it doesn't translate into the final piece. The harmony work is excellent. Technically, she's as solid as ever, aside from those few wayward notes, and it's a beautiful cover. I think the main problem that I've got is that the original doesn't really hit me in the feels, and this doesn't elevate the original or take it anywhere different. It's just a very good cover. So for me personally, emotionally, I'm feeling a bit of a disconnect from it. Maybe that's just a personal preference thing, but I think if that was something that she wanted to deliver, she could have picked another artist and another song that would have allowed that to come across way better.
Well, that's the reason I picked I'm With You by Avril Lavigne for her Judge's Choice song, because
would have been a better choice than this.
Yeah, I think so too. The reason I picked that song is because it gives more opportunity to show the softer dynamics.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have to really lay into that final part. It would have been more softness and more power compared to what we got.
Yeah, that's what I was missing, was the softness.
Yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming from, but not quite. So let's go into my feedback here. So, Mocha, this was a big song for a big finale. It was a classic Mocha performance with those amazing high belts and that sustain. You are a powerhouse singer, and you picked an emotional song to finish it off, and that usually works out great for you. You showed different registers in this, from your chest voice to that light head voice, and you have dynamics from mezzo piano to forte. Italian is hard. To fortissimo. No, fortissimo. You are missing though that piano dynamic like the other judges mentioned, but then at the same time, how many song choices are there where you can show that much dynamics? I mean, from piano to the strongest dynamic. It's gonna be very limiting with song choice. So whether that affected the score, we'll have to see, but you have given the full range of dynamics in your body of work though, and I'm very glad I got to hear Avril Lavigne from you, because that was like my dream for you for Judge's Choice, so I'm glad I got to hear it in the finale. I still really love this, so I'm not quite on the same page as you guys, but it was missing that piano dynamic, so I do see where you're coming from to some extent at least.
Okay, last one?
Yeah.
Okay, so something that's sort of come up is we haven't really had that standout sort of finale performance so far, and from
yes, we
Emma,
have.
Okay, debatable. But from Emma, I think we absolutely unequivocally have. This has got all the tightening up that I would have wanted from This Love, which had a big effect on me, but still had some things that I would have wanted to tweak. Everything on pitch this time around, every phrase goes somewhere, which was a big thing that I was worried about in the semi-finals, and it kind of embodies some of that Tori Amos effect that she was trying to go for. This one had my hair standing up on end on most every listen as I've gone through it. Great combination of range, of being able to add a little bit of that softness that was maybe missing from the semi-final performance, and again a real display of how many different ways Emma can use her voice and apply that into a performance, with a few of the feedbacks from the previous couple of rounds taken into effect and put together. That was about as good as you could get for a final performance for me.
I agree with a lot of it, disagree with some of it, but I'm gonna say, Emma, this was emotional from beginning to end, and I don't think you have always given us a performance that was 100% emotional throughout, but this was it. The harmonies are on point as always, and I agree with Arya that you are the harmony queen of this season. You have good sustain and beautiful vibrato. I wish though that you would do something bigger for a finale, like more belting and show more technical skill, like those whistle notes, basically more wow moments for a finale song. But this was still a beautiful performance. I have heard better performances from you. That said, you have a super strong body of work, so maybe you didn't need a better final performance. We'll have to wait and see. But this was the most emotional song this round.
I do have one question.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Why is a whistle note important? Like,
because
I've heard so many whistle notes throughout this competition, and they're just thrown out there in the middle of nowhere. Like, what's the point of that? Like, it doesn't add anything other than just showing off.
Well, you have to show off in a competition. That's the whole point. Maeve and Emma are the only two contestants so far in all of the seasons that have shown whistle notes. So it is a unique thing that makes you stand out. Not everyone has a whistle register even. So yeah, I completely disagree with that point. point. Those are, I mean, if you have something special that not everyone has, you really need to show that off, and that will make you stand out. I mean, can you tell me any other singers from this whole show that can do a whistle note?
I don't know. I don't think it's particularly important. I think throwing it in there with no real context in terms of an overall performance doesn't really tick the delivering a good cover box for me. It just feels like throwing something in there to show off. It's kind of, it falls into one camp, but then it's kind of counterintuitive to the other.
I agree that if it's thrown in there just to show off, but I think sometimes it's in there, it has a purpose, and it's not necessarily just bells and whistles. Like sometimes it's in there and it's meant to be in there, and it adds to the song, and it adds to the lift and the etherealness of the melody and of the harmony. If it's just thrown in there randomly and it's just there and it has no purpose, I could see your point, but in certain songs I could see why it would be useful.
And also, like, one of my favorite artists is Mariah Carey, and she is famous for that 5-octave range with those whistle notes. So any singer in this competition that can sound even remotely close to that is going to get my attention. Yeah, that's
I can't stand even the name Mariah Carey right now, because all I can think about is that stupid Christmas song is coming up, and I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it because people are already talking. No, it's banned. It is banned. It is banned.
Well, I don't like her for her Christmas songs. And she has so many good songs like Can't Let Go, Emotions.
Oh God, but that's all I can think about now. It's all I can think about because it's so cold here, and I'm so cold.
So just out of interest, Mariah Carey, she's what, in her early 50s now?
Yeah, and she can't sing anymore, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, and she wrote that song when she was 16, that Christmas song, so she's been cashing in on that for like 30 odd years. It's time for it to die.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, actually,
it's gotta go away now.
Yeah, I mean, that Christmas song is not my favorite either, so.
Yeah, I know, but
she has so many good songs.
Cringe.
Yeah, anyway, that's besides the point. That's maybe why I'm a fan of whistle notes. Anything that makes you unique is going to work in your favor for me in this competition, because I always look for the unique singers, or at least that's a big factor. It's not the only factor, but it is a big factor.
I'm kind of like between you guys. Like, I like uniqueness, but it's got to have a purpose. It can't just be random, like, hey, look at what I can do. You know, like, I could bend my fingers backwards till they touch like the top of my hand, but like, you know, people don't want to see that. I mean, you know, it's like, I mean, it's
but
gross.
I think whistle notes are more pleasing than you destroying your body.
Yeah, I mean, they're more pleasing, but they just shouldn't be random.
I haven't heard any random whistle notes. I think they added to the performances.
I know. I'm just saying, just don't throw them in there. Make sure they serve a purpose in the song, and then I'm happy. So.
All right, sure. I guess, I don't know if it would have suited in this song, but I think there were better song choices anyway, so.
Yeah.
Not completely on the same page as you, Mark, but what's new?
Well, I agree with Mark on Emma, so anyway, I guess that's a moot point then.
Oh no.
Yes, I do.
Or oh yes.
I think, me personally, this was my favorite performance of Emma's. I think it was ethereal. I think this was a fantastically emotional and a very strong finale performance. It gave me what I wanted to hear when it comes to dynamics. The one thing that I would complain about, and this might be my headset, I don't know, maybe I just had my thing turned up too high. I tried adjusting it, but I still kind of had an issue. It seemed at the very, very beginning, at least in the first few notes when she started singing, the piano drowned her vocals out a little bit. I think the mix was a little bit too strong between the vocals and the instrumental. But after she got over that and then the vocals kind of came over the music, it was just absolutely beautiful. I couldn't get over just how soft and just airy that voice was, and just how controlled the voice was.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I don't agree with you. I think it could have been bigger, but that just me.
Be snitty on my birthday, fine.
It's not about you this time, Andrea.
It is about me.
Contestants are more important.
It is always about me, Petri.
We're going to move on to the nerve-wracking part. I have gotten more nervous now after hearing your feedback, so. Like we always do in the final, we're not going to post them at the same time, but we're going to take turns. And I have called dibs on the first place that I'm going to vote last, so.
Alright, Mark gets to go first.
Alrighty. Yeah, can we change that the person that is currently voting gets to decide the next person to vote? Because we don't always do like the random generator decides anyway, so let's just
that's
change
fine.
it.
Yeah. Okay, it's my birthday, so I get to choose first, and I say Mark goes first.
Alright, for fourth place.
For fourth place. Okay.
Yeah.
So
and we're going to save the arguing until everyone has voted, okay?
Okay.
As best as it goes.
So justify it, and then I'm putting both the scores on the sheet and then highlighting as well.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So my fourth place is...
This one really breaks my heart. My third place ended up going to...
What the actual fuck?
Mark! He's killing me. Help me here. Mark, help me. Mark.
Okay.
Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's kind of a combination.
When can I respond?
Now.
Okay, my thing is...
Don't put words in my mouth. Both of them have chosen to piss me off. On my birthday...
You are pissing me off.
We are arguing over the best of the best. And this was so hard.
Yeah, exactly.
So hard.
This discussion has gone on for like an hour now, so...
That is the end. That is the grand finale. We have our ultimate winner. Congratulations. Da 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 da. This was a hard fought win. Everybody, again, every single one of you. Although we argued, we fought, we maybe shed some tears, especially Mark. He's a crier, you know, British. I mean, he's, you know, and Petri. Not me. Heart of stone. But, you know, this was hard for all of us. Again, no matter what you heard during, you know, the competition, we love you all. Every single one of you, not only the finalists, but every single one of you in the competition. Every one of you have talent, and it was a hard decision every single time. But of course, there can be only one, just like the Highlander. And thank you to every single one of you who have put up with Petri and Mark all
and
this
Andrea.
time. But anyway, once again, thank you guys for listening. This was a fantastic season, and thank you, Petri. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, guys. Have a fantastic time. And hopefully, once again, we will be back soon if Petri, if his heart can stand another season. Look forward maybe to an all-star season. Who knows? Maybe one of these great competitors will be back if we have an all-star season. And if we have another regular season, stay tuned for auditions. And Emma, Angelina, Maeve, Mocha, you are wonderful. We love you. You were so deserving to be in the finalists. We have never had such great talent in our finals. I love you guys. And thank you again to our mentors. Mentors, you have been just invaluable. Thank you to all of our guest judges for helping us out. And have a great one, guys.
Yeah, thank you to our mentors, Aria, Nick, brain fart. Aria, Nick. Wait, I'm gonna go into the mentor chat, damn it. Arya, Nick, Hooney, Ginga, and Kelsey. And thank you to our wonderful host, Patrick. You have been an amazing new host. Can't wait to work with you next season.
Beautiful voice.
Next season is season 10. So obviously there is going to be a season 10. I'm not gonna quit on season 9. Come on, guys. And I have something very special planned for next season, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, I think that's all there is to say.
And by the way, this was my first outro ever. I have never done an intro. I have never done an outro. So there you go.
I think you have sang for an outro before, but that was kind of a cop-out.
Well, it was, yeah, exactly.
Okay, does Mark have anything to say? See ya, bitches, or something?
See ya, bitches.
Okay, that's kind of Andrea's language. Yeah, didn't you say see ya for all stars, bitches, or something?
Yeah, well, that was in private chat, though. That wasn't on air.
I'm exposing you.
See
Mark,
bitches.
did you have anything to say?
Yeah, I did have a bit of a closing comment. Season 10, watch yourselves. I'm going to beat all of you.
Oh, he's not a judge. He's a competitor.
Mark, we already...
Once we get bounced out in the first round, that's not going to go well.
We already discussed that, Mark. I don't know. Kind of...
Yeah, that would be a bad idea.
Yeah, it would be kind of like... what's the word in English? And I'm not doing that as an excuse. It's conflict of interest. Yeah, that's the thing.
Be too brutal. It'd be 10 seasons or however many seasons we've done together of revenge, all pushed into a bunch of feedback.
I've got it.
Ooh.
No, here it is. Season 10, Judges versus All-Stars.
Ooh.
Oh, there you go.
Well, rumors say there is going to be like a season 9.5 or something, Mark.
Oh, there you go.
It was your responsibility to plan it, so...
There we go.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get something together for that. But if anyone fancies trying their hand at the judging side of things from this season, then please let me know. I might be putting together a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's all she wrote, guys. Let's keep it under 2.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Don't miss the upcoming result. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.